What are the consequences for a notary public who practices any fraud or deceit in the performance of their duties? To answer this question, let's have a look at the executive law part of the notary public license law, which is entitled Misconduct by a Notary and Removal from Office. It states, "A notary public who in the performance of the duties of such office shall practice any fraud or deceit is guilty of a misdemeanor," and there's reference to the executive law 135-A, and may be removed from office. And just to be sure, let's have a look at part 135-A referenced before, and we could jump to subsection 2, which states, "A notary public or commissioner of deeds who in the exercise of the powers or in the performance of the duties of such office shall practice any fraud or deceit," which again is what the question is asking for, "the punishment for which is not otherwise provided for by this act, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor." Okay, so we've got a punishment of a misdemeanor under part 135-A. As well, we have removal from office under the executive law. So with all this in mind, let's have a look at our 4 choices to determine our solution. Choice A states, they are guilty of a misdemeanor and may be removed from office. That aligns with everything that we just read, but before we mark this as the correct solution, let's have a look at the other 3 choices just to be certain. Choice B states, they are subject to a fine but can continue their practice. Now, while a fine may be something that results from this conduct, that is certainly not the main consequences that's stated in the law as we just read from, and therefore choice B is not the correct solution. Choice C states they are given a warning for the first offense. In fact, the consequences are much more severe than just a warning as we've read, and therefore choice C is not our solution. And finally, choice D states there are no specific consequences. While there definitely are very specific consequences as we read, and therefore choice D is not our solution, which leaves choice A. They are guilty of a misdemeanor and may be removed from office as the correct solution.